Yeah. We put in work and here's the proof. What you want?
I'm making moves, punching in.
I'm on it too.
I'm in the gym.
I'm in the stew.
It's hunting season.
Where's the food?
We push each other daily, level up.
Cause that's what brothers do.
Clock in.
Let's get it. Yeah. Friday Night Lights. Friday Night Lights, man.
Clock in.
It's time to clock in, baby.
Clock in.
You were full with it today, man.
Shout out to Crossing. You already know. We got a special one for y'all. We call this extra minute.
Extra time, like soccer matches. So I get 5 extra minutes. That's going to be longer than 5 minutes, but I'm looking forward to this one.
Turn me up, Guru.
We on our Russell riding our hustle.
Nico in the building. What up, Nick? Yeah, let it rock, man.
Neighborhood Hit in the building.
Neighborhood Hit, baby. Yeah. Time to clock in, baby. You already know what it is, man. Yeah.
You're not going to send the Jay-Z joint in here, though. See what the skills looking like.
Yeah.
We see the skills looking like.
I don't know if I'm there yet. Yes, sir.
Man, look, we here, man. Friday night. I like this Friday night vibe. This is our third time doing an episode on Friday. We typically record on Sundays, but you know, we got something special for y'all.
Very special.
Typical people here. Y'all are probably tired of hearing us, but co-host here, Marshall Hamilton, Clock in the Podcast.
Co-host Austin Hamilton, aka Aham. You got another AKA for me?
AKA A Smooth.
Okay, I'll take that.
AKA Amen.
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 Yo, that's a new one. I like that.
Amen.
I like that.
So I'll let you introduce our guests, man. Y'all are technically, you know what I'm saying, colleagues.
Yeah, technically.
For sure.
Yeah, this is a special one, man. For a lot of reasons.
Yep.
One, you know, she's just a dope, genuine person, first and foremost. I had the pleasure of meeting her when I was in college. You know,
Same.
back at Elon, and you know when you were at Ferrum. So it's been you know a joy to just see her development and her rise to fame and success. But like I said, man, it's, you know, she's a real genuine person. You know, she's about impact. She's about unity, which is what we preach. So without further ado, you know, we got Jennifer King clocking in with us, man.
In the building.
Yes, sir.
What up?
Yes, sir.
Here, got her here finally.
Y'all here, man.
Got her here. You know, she's in popular demand,
Man, what?
so finally got her here.
You been on the press run, huh?
But before we get into some stuff, make sure you subscribe to the pod through Anchor. You know, if it's in your heart, donate. You know, we feel like we've gotten better and better each episode, each season, and a lot of it has to do with y'all support.
Yeah.
Share it, give us feedback. Follow the IG, it's at Clock In Pod. Facebook is Clock In the Podcast, and YouTube, it should be the same thing. So
Then the merch. We got the merch, clockinapparel.com. Yeah, man, we got some stuff coming for the spring and summer, so
got some new
y'all stay
swag.
tuned to that.
New swag for y'all. But yeah, man, this is a great time to just, I feel like reconnect. It's been let's see, probably like 6 or 7 months. Did you come by Christmas? Or I know you came by in the summer.
Yeah, I came by for the little cookout.
Yeah.
That was lit.
You come by for
it's been a minute.
Yeah. When the food is there, you definitely been there.
Hey, look, Marva cook.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
So I figured we could start with the family connection because you met our oldest brother, Walter, first. and then I met you in college, and same with Austin. So I figured you can kind of start with how did you even meet the Hamiltons?
Yeah.
And kind of how we all kind of got to know each other over time.
Yeah, I started coaching with Walt at Greensboro College. Me and him
Yes,
were
sir.
both assistants. And,
Yes, sir.
I kind of knew him before just because he was coaching AAU ball, so I seen him out and about. But yeah, he got on staff, and he was like a brother to me, man. We had good times.
He
On a
knew what
bunch
he
of
was doing.
games.
He knew what he was doing.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
Walt was born to coach.
Yes.
So I'm glad that he got the opportunity. And back when I met you, you had dreads back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember seeing y'all on the sideline. And for those who don't know, so they both coached at Greensboro College, as you said. They were in my conference, so they coached the women's team, and obviously I played for the men's team. But I played Greensboro twice a year.
Yep.
And
What was your record? Get y'all out the way?
So we were. I'll say this: they got the last laugh, right? So they ended my career technically. We lost to them. We lost to them senior
That's tough,
year.
man. That's
Yeah,
tough.
yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, so it's a sore topic.
Yeah.
But I think my record. Let's see, we split. We split my freshman year, and then we swept them my sophomore year. Split junior year, and then we went 2-1.
So it was even for the most part.
Nah, I lost them 3 times. So I
Okay.
won once. So let's see, 1, 2. Let's see, 1, 3, 4. I was like 6-3 against them.
Yeah, that one was crushing.
That one was.
That's times 3 right there.
Yeah,
So it's even.
that one was
So
tough.
it's even.
That one was tough. But whenever we played at Greensboro, like at their gym, the game went into overtime. Where like it went to the last
Always
possession every
great
time.
games. I remember those, man.
Man, them, first of all, that small gym, man. You sit on the bench and your feet are on the sideline.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Fans
The corner
on top of
3-point
you.
line is this big. So you couldn't shoot corner threes, but the fans was on you. It felt like you was playing in church gym. The locker, D3, man, the facilities aren't that great, but yeah, shout out to Greensboro College, man.
For
They're
sure.
actually supposed to come.
Coach Randy, man. Rest in peace.
The rest
For
of
sure.
Shout
RP
out.
Randy
No doubt.
Tuggle. What's the men's coach's name? He got a crazy last name, like Polish name or something.
It's a new guy now.
Oh, for
Gillespie
real?
went to. He's now at Florida. He's in.
Oh, wow.
I forget the name of the school. Eckerd. He's the
Okay.
head coach at Eckerd now. The D2.
Nah, Gillespie was cool, man. He was supposed
Yeah.
to come watch me play open gym my senior year, and then a hurricane came.
Oh my goodness.
So I could honestly, I may have went there if that visit happened.
Yeah.
Because Walt was there.
Yep.
But yeah, man, a lot of battles against Greensboro, and y'all so Ferrum and Greensboro games used to be competitive, and then when y'all got there, you and Walt,
Change the culture.
it changed.
man.
Yeah, everything changed.
Yeah.
Everything
Changed the
changed.
culture.
So yeah, man, and then we met you more formally. I feel like when you got to the DMV. So I wanted to ask, like, how do you like this area? Because I know you're from the Greensboro, North Carolina area. But how do you like the DMV?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I've always liked this area.
Yeah.
You get that warm feeling when you're in the DMV area. Just 'cause
Yeah.
all the culture and the food's so good. The brunch scene is unmatched.
Right.
Oh, of course.
But I'm glad that we kind of look like on the other side of COVID, so I can actually get out and really enjoy it now. So I'm looking forward to it until life is over in July and when we start back.
Right.
Yep. Yep. What's your favorite spot so far? Have you been to the Ben's Chili Bowls?
Yeah, I hit some of the spots like that before I got here because I
Yeah,
was here
okay.
before.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a favorite spot yet, but it hasn't been anywhere I hadn't you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
everywhere's been
yeah.
good. Yeah.
Nah, that brunch scene different, man.
Yeah.
That brunch scene is different.
So I feel like you brought some North Carolina up here with you, right? Because there's never been a Bojangles anywhere near Northern Virginia.
Yo.
And then now there's a Bojangles.
It is.
All right, in Sterling.
Yeah.
In
That
the same
joint-
county as you.
Yeah.
I haven't been yet.
That joint
but
is jumping
that-
every single day. Have you been in the area?
Nah, I
yet?
haven't been yet.
Son, like I've been because I go to Costco all the
Yeah,
time.
I went to Costco
like
today.
the line is backed
It's
up
stupid.
every single. I'm like, dog, like it'd be like 2:00. Like I need to be in work at the
Yeah.
crib. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure I got a Teams meeting or something.
Right,
like that.
right.
Nah,
And it's still
they got
jumping.
Sterling itching.
Nah, for real.
Man.
I give Jennifer the credit. So now you're responsible for bringing
A championship.
cookout or championship first.
A
But
championship.
you gotta get cookout here.
Cookout would be clutch.
You gotta get
Man.
Waffle House here.
Yeah.
And the real North Carolinians know about Biscuitville.
Biscuitville.
You gotta get Biscuitville up here.
Man.
Those are legendary.
That's the
North
one.
Carolina.
That's the one thing about North Carolina, dog. The food is crazy. It's
What?
crazy.
See, we too bougie up here, man. Like we don't really have like Popeyes is like oh that's like the unhealthy.
Yeah.
That's the
Like you know that's the thing I love about like the South, man. They got like Zaxby's. They brought Zaxby's here like 2 years ago.
Absolutely.
Where's that at again?
South Riding area.
Okay.
Okay, I haven't even seen it.
Yeah, it's kind of in the cut. It's on like
Okay.
the other side of Loudoun County. And then Cracker Barrel got here like 5 years ago, and we talked about Cracker Barrel last episode.
Yeah.
The vibe, I don't know. It's a real confederate in there.
I kind of like the food, but it's kind of sus.
Yeah.
You start looking around.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, so
Sheesh.
but yeah, you brought some of that southern cuisine to the DMV.
Do you miss the Charlotte area? I love Charlotte.
oh, I love Charlotte.
Like
too.
yeah. That's where I would want to move.
Yeah, I
Love
can see
Charlotte.
that.
Small
Yeah.
town. You know, you still get the culture. A lot of young professionals. Weather's nice. Food's good. And I got like a lot of my teammates live out there, so I try to visit every year.
Yeah,
But yes, Charlotte always got a special place in my heart.
absolutely. That's the
North
crazy thing
Carolina,
about
period.
Charlotte, though. It's like it feels like a southern like town, but low key, it's like the 12th biggest city in the country now.
Yeah.
Like it's growing crazy, but it's like still feels like
Yeah.
it's like home. So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely miss Charlotte.
Man.
I gotta get down there. I went to Carowinds.
You never
once.
been to Charlotte?
Man, so in college they took a bus of people to go to Carowinds.
Wait, in college? Wait,
It was like a,
oh.
it was like a youth, it was like a youth ministry
Yo,
trip.
Perfect attendance.
Wait, y'all went on the band like field trip to Williamsburg. You remember that?
Basically,
joint?
that's exactly what it was like. So Jennifer, you've been to Ferrum. Ain't nothing in Ferrum. All right, there's nothing out there.
Nothing.
So it was my
God.
senior year too. I'll never forget, man. We had to sign up at the student center, and all my boys was going. They're like, "Yeah, let's go to Carowinds."
First of all, you got a student center. You know there's some black people there.
Yeah, like the park.
Hey, Eli, we had those students. That joint was a freaking Shar Pavilion.
Yeah,
like,
The fancy name.
Yeah.
The donor name.
Right, exactly.
We had the student center.
What was it called in the Parkers?
What the school?
Yeah.
Or it was like Southwest Tech or something. Southwest LA Tech community. I don't know, but
Yeah.
we went to Carowinds, which is like it's literally like Charlotte, and I think it's technically in South Carolina.
Yeah, it like splits the states.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
right on the border. It was
Yep.
dope, but I haven't spent time in Charlotte.
Yeah, you
and
gotta go, man.
I heard like for the millennials, like you were saying, it's up and
Yeah.
coming.
Young professionals.
Yeah.
It's they're building up a lot, you know. So I gotta definitely go down there. How do you feel about go-go? You know, that's something that I know.
You probably rock with Go-Go.
I rock with it.
I was gonna say
you probably rock with
because
Go-Go.
you probably been to T's homecoming a bunch,
Of course.
and I know that you know,
you
like Backyard would show up, and usually every year there's a go-go band. So since you're acclimated to the DMV, there are a lot of people who like, man, I don't really rock with go-go.
Right.
And they live
yeah.
an hour away.
Especially in the
so-
South. Like, go-go don't really get a lot of love. But for me, like, I have family here. So growing
Okay.
up, I would be here sometimes in the summer. So
Yeah,
I would hear
sure.
go-go. So I knew what go-go was.
Yeah.
So, you know, like in college, you out at the club and they play go-go. People like, man, what's
Yeah.
this?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But I'm like, hey.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but
I remember I went to it was my freshman year. It's like the only time I was ever able to do something at A&T's homecoming, and we were at Green Street, and Wale pulled up, and you know, of course he had Trey with him, and he performed "Sexy Lady," and I'm like the only one going crazy, and I'm just like, yo, how do y'all not know this song?
Yeah.
But yeah, man,
Sexy Lady, Overnight Scenario.
yeah, it's a classics.
Yeah, most people from like other parts of the country have at least heard of Chuck
Yeah.
Brown.
Chuck,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I had to ask the Go-Go question.
Yeah, no, I like go-go, man. I do.
I mean, a lot of music is like, I mean, the joint we just listened to with Nipsey, Nipsey and
This is what it
Jay-Z.
feels like.
Yeah, like
had a go-go
that's
drum.
a go-go drum.
Yeah.
You know, it's heavy percussion based. So a lot of rap, incorporates go-go.
Yeah, we've always.
I mean, our
appreciated
intro
go-go.
was go-go.
It has a go-go beat. Yeah, now we've always appreciated go-go. But it's just even in parts of Virginia, like once you get past Fredericksburg, they don't really. It's hit or miss.
Yeah, but let's be
Yeah.
real. I mean, once you get past Fredericksburg, that's like the South.
Yeah.
Anything
Fredericksburg
like-
is the South. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this like Northern Virginia is like its own state.
Yeah.
And then you got the rest of Virginia.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, shout out to Go Go. All right, so last time we were all together, all right, it was at a cookout in the summertime. There was some beef that came out of that. I didn't know. This episode was gonna happen. Now I'm hyping, but
The beef wasn't between me and it wasn't beef.
yeah, I'm joking.
we just had a little intense exchanges.
Yeah, what was it about, man? Tell the people.
So okay, let me preface by this. I'm a big Jay-Z fan. I love Jay-Z. I think he's the best rapper of all time. But on the other side, I think Drake is close. I think he's close. So
From a lyrical perspective or from a hits perspective? I
Well-
feel like it was about hits
no, it was just about like okay.
as an artist.
Yeah, as an artist, but this was during the time where the verses like first got started, so it was a hot topic. So I'm like, yo, like that Drake Hove versus this is verbatim what I said. I was like, it's not gonna be as freaking clear as y'all think. Like Drake got bars, he got hits, like it's just not gonna be a clear
Easy win.
And of course, there's a couple Jay-Z heads, Jennifer being one, and my brother Walt, and I forgot the other dude's name. But it was
Jamal.
3. Yeah, it was 3 against 1.
Oh yeah.
And we had some music playing, and Jennifer and Walt, they're just playing Jay-Z after Jay-Z, and it's like I said, it's just me. So I have there's no ammo on my side.
They know all the lyrics.
They know all the lyrics.
And Walt-
They're rapping in my face.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like, man, Drake can't touch him. And I'm like, all right, let me get the aux. I play some Drake. Y'all over there just like this. Oh, okay. Like,
It's like a freestyle battle.
Yeah.
Where like whoever hypes
when it
the
the first
person
when it's in their
who's rapping.
hood, they're gonna go for the the dude that's from their hood. But yeah, I mean, like I still stand by what I said. I think Drake, I think it'd be a good matchup. Any thoughts?
Oh, I mean, my feelings haven't changed. Yeah, I think it's like so like a 4th or 5th round knockout.
Fourth or
So
fifth.
so do y'all think this is more generational? You know what I'm saying? Because or is it,
I mean, but I compare like Jay-Z fans similar to like Kobe fans. Like Kobe fans are diehard Kobe fans. Like if you say anything about Kobe or you say LeBron's better than Kobe, 'cause that's actually a fair comparison.
so Drake is LeBron.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Jay-Z's Jordan.
Jay-Z's Jordan.
Jay-Z's Jordan. But anytime somebody
Wayne is like Kobe. I feel like Lil Wayne is
yeah,
Kobe.
anytime you try to say, man, Bron got Jordan, especially if you grew up in the Jordan era,
Of course.
they're gonna be like, you're crazy. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much what it was like. But
I think Drake
Drake
is just he's
Drake
as
got
an
joints,
artist.
dog.
he's
He
just-
got joints.
As an artist, I see what you're saying. As a rapper, like as just a flat out rapper, because Drake is so versatile. You know what I'm saying? Like Jay-Z is in his one lane.
Yeah.
And he's a master of that lane.
Yeah.
Drake, you can just put him on any song and he'll, no matter the genre,
Yeah, he'll go crazy.
he'll go crazy on it. But yeah, man, I feel like that's a tough one. We got to come up with like a bracket, like
Yeah.
like Drake is the number 2 seed.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying in the North region.
Well, Drake would be a 1 seed. Come on.
Yeah, he would be a 1
Yeah,
seed.
he'd
If it's a real bracket.
Yeah,
he
true.
would get a 1.
Jay 1, Drake 1,
Pac 1,
Pac,
Biggie 1.
Are you a Tupac or Biggie?
I like Big, but I mean, I rock with Pac too,
Yeah.
but I'm definitely more Big.
Big was different.
Yeah,
Big was different.
yeah. I listen to way more Big.
So you got some tracks? You got some tracks ready?
I don't.
Okay, I was about to say we
I'm
can have.
I'm not trying to get sued by Drizzy or
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah,
That's true.
Good point. Good point.
But yeah, you know, we'll have to run that back. I'm gonna have some Drake supporters with me, so it'll be a little different.
So we're trying to have. You know what would be funny? Because we're actually trying to plan like an event, where we just, whether it's outside or at a venue.
Be a live show.
Just like a live podcast show like they do on like the NBA Finals. The first take goes to they're going to LA. Going to LA this year. You know, because the Lakers gonna be in the finals.
Because LeBron gonna be
The Lakers. Now LeBron's gonna be a participant. Okay.
a participant.
He'll be a participant because he's on the Lakers. Anyways, we're gonna try to have a live show. It would be funny.
Really, I'm a LeBron guy.
It would be funny if y'all did like a versus live. You know what I'm saying?
We can make it happen.
Yeah, y'all did a versus
make it
live. That's funny. Something that we talked about, I think it was 2 episodes ago. So episode 39. You know, you're a woman in a male dominated sport, right? So, you know, the WNBA pay gap compared to the NBA has been a hot topic, right? So we have our perspective on why that is, but you know, we wanted I just personally wanted to hear like what your thoughts are on you know, what's going on with the WNBA salaries and how you feel about it, and you know, what's the solution that you think would work, right?
Yeah.
To help with that.
It's tough, man. I mean, I think with the new CBA that they have, they're obviously getting paid what they're, you know, like a
The
nice.
market.
They're making like
Yeah.
6 figures now,
Right.
and you know their housing's paid for typically, and sometimes they get cars. So I think now, you know, I think it's definitely it's good to see them. I mean, it's not fair for them to be making, you know, $40,000 and have to go play somewhere else in the off season. Like they're professionals,
Yeah.
you know. So now they at least have the option that they don't have to go play somewhere in the off season if they don't want to, because they can make enough money here to support themselves. And like I said, during the season they're taking care of housing and vehicles, so those are big expenses that they don't have to worry about.
Right.
So I think it's good where they are now. I mean, ultimately, obviously, you want to keep making more and more, but that comes with, you know, bigger TV deals and things like that as well. So
Exactly.
I think, you know, with the new CBA that they have now, you know, they're making a nice amount to be professional athletes, and there are plenty of professional athletes in this country, male and female, who don't make a lot of money. You know,
Right.
I was one of them at one point. I wasn't making jack.
Yeah, so I mean, it's cool right now to see them doing it. I think, you know, they're getting bigger and bigger. Like more and more players are becoming more household names now.
Like
You know,
the jersey on
exactly
right
with
now.
their new releases of their new jerseys.
The jerseys are crazy.
They're fire.
You
So
gotta-
I mean,
you gotta
like,
get this-
yeah,
Crazy.
yeah,
The
that's what
jerseys
it's
are
all
crazy.
about.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that.
Yeah, I think for me, like, I mean, I agree wholeheartedly. It just comes down to like who I see complaining about it the most. You know, obviously is like, you know, women, and I'm just like, yo, like I know you. You don't even watch the WNBA, and you're a part of the problem.
Yeah.
Like we all know, the more eyes on the WNBA games, the more revenue they receive. So like y'all need to put your money where your mouth is and actually watch the sport and support the sport. Like March, buy a jersey.
Yeah.
And look, I said this last time we talked about it. I didn't buy this jersey to be like, well, I'm a feminist. I saw it on Instagram and I'm like, yo, this joint is tough.
Yeah.
Like fashion wise,
Yeah.
but I mean because of that, it's like, well, I actually helped generate some revenue for the league, you know. So
And there's a stat that I think it's accurate that more men watch the WNBA than women.
just because more men watch basketball.
Yeah.
Now I
can
don't
see that.
I have to re-look into that. But I think our thing was it's become, at least when it comes to WNBA versus NBA, it's become because they're men, they get paid more. In other industries, I think that is true sometimes, right? And
Absolutely.
And like I gave the example, in corporate America, like if a VP of HR gets hired, let's say it's a man, they make $200K. A woman gets hired, same role, same company, and she gets paid $150. Like that's an issue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I feel like we talked about how it's more of an economic thing versus a gender inequality thing.
Yeah.
Now with the women's soccer team, to me, they have more of like a valid argument when it comes to the gender inequality.
Absolutely.
Because the men suck.
Yeah,
We're trash.
let's be real. The women's soccer team was so
They're
much
cold.
better.
They're cold. Like, they're cold.
We didn't even make the Olympics, did we?
Trash.
Yeah, that's almost
Olympics,
embarrassing.
World Cup.
Like I rock with them, but it's hard.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I don't understand. I do understand because I mean think about it. In this country, soccer isn't one of the most popular sports, right? And our best athletes play what? Football or basketball.
Yeah.
typically, yeah.
And it starts at the grassroots level, right? Like when you go, I spent some time in England. These kids are in academies
Yeah.
at like
The whole
5.
system is different. How it's
Yeah,
set up. They don't go
it's-
to college. There's no
No,
college. Yeah.
no, they don't go to college. Like
Yeah.
freaking Lionel Messi, Barcelona had the rights to his son like when he was born.
That's kind of.
Like that's crazy.
That's kind of. It sounds weird. It sounded worse than I know. It is crazy. It just sounded weird. Like they own his son. I don't know. It just.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good for him because it's like, well, he's gonna get this money.
That's how they do it, man.
This when I heard that the way it sounded, like that sounds kind of
Yeah, it don't sound the best.
it doesn't sound right.
But you get it.
Yeah, I feel it.
Just in case he's like his pop.
Exactly. Just like when you see like little Bronny getting offered when he's like 9 by Duke or somebody.
Yeah.
But I mean that's just a part of the sport, man.
No doubt. Well, let's get into some real topics. We've spoken a good amount, but I haven't spent a ton of time around you, right? So I'd love to just kind of start with like your journey, just who you are, like your background. Obviously, a lot of people can Google you, but like, what are some things that people maybe don't know about you and your journey that that isn't Googleable or searchable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it was such a crazy journey, man. I mean, it was like,
bet.
you think your journey's going to go straight, and it was like this.
Yeah.
It was all over the place. So, I coached college basketball for 9 years, and when I first started coaching, I was a volunteer assistant. So I was a police officer as well, like leading double life. I felt like I was leading a double life.
What was that
doing
like?
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I worked in the hood, so we got it in. It was crazy. So I was doing that and then going to practice, like literally like a double life. But
That's crazy. So I'm sure you saw some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad
potentially
where I worked.
like shake you up. And
Yeah,
you just gotta
all
go.
the time. I mean, you see stuff you can't unsee.
Yeah.
But
Now, were you in the city of Greensboro? Or?
I was at High Point.
Oh, High Point. I heard
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
worse.
there's some areas.
Yeah, it was
Depending, because the
Yeah.
campus is dope.
Right.
It's real
High
nice.
Point is definitely one of those like.
Some areas.
It just depends where you are.
Okay.
Like the south side of High Point is not the best. So
I don't know if the
that's
south
where I
side of
went.
anywhere that's nice. You know what I'm saying? I don't know any south sides that are nice.
That's fact. But yeah, so we got it in. But I was coaching basketball. I started playing football, and also coaching football like middle school level. So I was doing just a lot. Like I was just
That's
busy
crazy.
all the time. But always loved
You
football.
play softball too, right?
Yeah, I played basketball and softball in college.
Wow.
And where at? Cause
At Guilford College in Greensboro.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
So I had the opportunity to go to bigger schools, but neither one of them really wanted me to play both. So Guilford had a great visit. Like they made it work financially, so I was like, I'll just go there.
Yep.
Like I wasn't caught up in going like D1. I didn't care. Like I could have went D1 basketball. I could have went D1 softball.
Can you touch on that, because especially at this age, so many kids are so focused on, I gotta go Division I. I gotta go Division I. No, like go where they want you.
Yeah.
Go where you can be you. Can you just touch on that?
Yeah,
like,
for
your
sure.
mindset?
Like I think I was one of those kids at first. Like I was like, I just want to go to a D1 school. Like I was, the bigger schools that were recruiting me, like those are the ones that were getting my attention because they were bigger schools. So and then when I started going on some of the visits, it's like this sucks. Like I don't want to be here. Like it's not worth it. Like I don't want to come here just to be here and play for this name. And then when I went to Guilford, it was just like the visit was great. Like it felt like this is where I should be. Like the people were cool. I knew I could go in. Like I started all 4 years and had a really good career. And I mean that's why I did it. Like I didn't get caught up in the names and all that kind of stuff. Because you got to realize like how you feel on your visit is so important. And don't get caught up in all the lights and stuff, the photo shoots that they're doing now and all the extra stuff.
That's crazy
like,
now.
It's not going to be like that when you get there.
You got a full freaking photo gallery.
Oh
when
yeah,
you take a visit.
right. And that's I worked in college football. It was the same thing. These kids come, we're doing photo shoots. I'm like, okay. When I was a head coach, we didn't do anything.
Right.
I was like, I hung their jersey up in the locker, and I was like, I mean, when you get here, you can put it on. I'm putting it on.
You gotta earn that.
That's how
you gotta commit. You gotta commit. You gotta put the ring on
That's
first.
exactly how I felt.
That.
But that was my thoughts on that. So I mean, and I was happy. I had a great career at Guilford. I was happy. Great 4 years. So I mean, I think it was a great decision for me to make. So I mean, if you can make it work, go where you're happy. Even if it's D1, D2, D3, there's great sports at all levels.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, because I had the opportunity to play Division 1, but like sometimes I can't even lie. Like when I look back on it, I'm like, maybe if I went to a D2 and was able to be me, throughout, who knows what my opportunities would have looked like.
Yeah.
You see it all the time, guys at the D2 level, D3, NAIA, still getting opportunities to play
if
pro.
If you can play like that, they'll find
Yeah.
I mean, I had a guy at Guilford,
Exactly.
we were there together. He played, in the G League. He got some NBA look. Now he works for the Suns. Like, that's what it gave him,
What was his name?
Ben Strong. Yeah,
you know him?
He was a post. He was
What year did he graduate?
It was a minute.
Was it
Probably
like
08.
Okay.
Okay, I was gonna say.
So-
Yeah.
It's funny, my freshman year at Elon, we went down to Guilford to scrimmage against our guys because we didn't have enough people at Elon to have pickup runs. And we go to Guilford, and I'm thinking, all right, these D3 dudes, like, it's about to be easy work. And I held my own, but we had a big on our team who was getting killed by someone from Guilford.
It may have been Tyler.
Yeah,
Maybe.
It was either Ben or
but that's,
Tyler.
but like when I was there and like the years after I left, the men's team was going to like Final Fours.
Yeah, they were
like,
nice.
Yeah,
They were nice.
Yeah.
So my first scrimmage ever in college, like playing against another team, was against Guilford, right? And I'm from here, and I think I said this on an episode. No disrespect, but like the predominantly white teams out here, they're running flex offense. There's none of this, right? So I was like the sixth man off the bench, backup point guard my freshman year. So I go in the game, right? And Guilford's team it looked like they were kind of like a D3 Davidson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they had like they're
That's
predominantly
very
white.
fair.
They had like two black players, usually
Athletes.
athletic,
Four.
hustle, four
tweener.
man. So I get in the game. There's a guy named Clay Henson, I think.
Yep.
And then like Matt
Bonner. Yeah.
Clay was
I feel like with a name
Clay
like
ran
Matt
the
Bonner,
one.
you got
You're
to
a
ratchet
shooter.
it up.
You're a shooter.
You got to ratchet.
So Clay ran the one, right? And he sees me
He bopped you.
on the left wing, hits me with a cross, hesitation. I'm right here. Whop. And then he comes back and jakes me. Are you gonna clock in? You gonna
Wait.
you gonna clock me in like
But there
that?
are others who we're not really putting time in. We're not putting the work in.
You know it's
We're
my
not
dad,
clocking
right?
in. So that we can do what God is calling us to do.
God didn't call me
Yeah,
to play
he
that
did
day.
it.
That day I wasn't called to play defense. I didn't clock in enough. Cause and you know how it is when you play like Division 3 or coach Division 3, I should say. Well, play and coach Division 3. You look at these rosters and there's people from like middle of nowhere Virginia, middle of nowhere North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
They're a single A school, and I'm coming from like big time Northern Virginia. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, I'm not worried. He did it again, Jennifer. And that's when literally I said to myself, I said, these white boys are different. These are different kind of white boys.
Right.
And that was the year they went to I think the Final Four, because Tyler Sanborn, who coaches Ferrum now, he was a senior. He was like, I don't know if he was player of the year. He was first team All-American. He played with the Lakers Summer League team. They had a mob that year. But anyways, all that to say, like,
there's talent at every level.
There's talent everywhere. And fit matters.
Every level.
Fit matters. And what I realized when I got to college is this is how you know women are smarter than men. Seriously, because Ferrum, there'd be girls at Ferrum, and I'm like, yo, you could have played Division II. And they would say, like, I had other looks.
Yeah.
But they're like, well, I didn't like the campus. I didn't really like the teachers. You know, they didn't have my major. Guys, it doesn't matter what level. They think they're going to the league.
Yeah.
They don't care about any of that stuff.
Like y'all watch what's the one on Netflix called?
Last Chance U.
Last Chance U. All them think they're going to the
They think
league.
they're going to the
They're all
league.
going to
So, did you ever have any like WNBA aspirations or anything like that?
Not really. Like, I had the opportunity. I went to Australia and played for a little bit, and like, I was cool. Like, I didn't really I mean, I was okay with not going to the WNBA. Like, if it happened, it happened. If not, it didn't happen. I mean, looking back, I'm fine with it. Like, I probably could have tried harder to get there, or I mean, I definitely could have had a professional career. I could have stayed in Australia. I had offers at other places, but like, it was like whatever to me. Like, going to the league was never like my goal or dream.
Who would you say you played like? Like, who was your game like?
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think of people that's like playing now.
Yeah.
It could be.
Well,
you know, back
I mean, I was a scorer, so like that's what they needed me to do. Like, I went into Guilford as a point guard, and then they moved me to the wing, and like, I needed to score. That was my role.
So you was getting buckets.
Yeah, and
what was your highest scoring game
in college?
Yeah,
I think I had 36 once, but like my senior year, though, I had to score or we didn't have a chance.
Yeah,
so I averaged like 23 points a game my senior year, but I had to average 23 points
tough.
a game.
Like, that's tough.
But I had to.
So
but I mean, that's what I did. I scored the ball. So you know, I think I was kind of a Tarasi type. Like, I wasn't a point guard, but I was like I was a bigger body, so. You know, I could go. Like, I went to the free throw line like 8 to 10 times a game.
He's out here like Harden.
But it was. I mean, that's what my team needed. Like, they needed me to do that. So
you and Walt ever play like ones or?
Nah, we played at like noon ball, but we never played one on one.
Walt's big into like shooting competitions. Y'all probably did that.
Yeah, for sure.
Walt can still shoot on the level.
Walt can still play.
Walt can still shoot on the level.
Yeah, don't sleep on it.
I did want to ask though, because you mentioned law enforcement. I completely forgot that you were in law enforcement. Yeah. So what made you want to get into law enforcement, especially as, you know, a black woman? Like, I don't know that many black women officers. I don't know that many women officers. Or I mean, there's more black men officers, you know, these days and even back in the day, but I don't know that many black women officers. So what made you go that route?
So really, when I first got to college, I was a criminal justice major. Like, I thought that's what I was going to do, and then I changed it to sport management. But you know, I was out, and the recruiting officer from High Point was a guy I'd known from back home, so we were cool.
Yeah.
So he just like hit me up and see if I was interested. I was like, yeah, let's talk about it. So we talked about it. I felt good about it, and that was it. Started the application process.
So it wasn't any like profound, like I always wanted to save people or anything.
Oh,
no. It was more so like my boy hit me up.
Yeah, but I mean, it was cool to be able to try to like help people and stuff. You know, it wasn't like anything crazy like that. Like, you know, this is what I've always wanted to do.
Right.
It wasn't like that.
I can imagine you making a lot of connections like within the community, right? So I'm sure you had, you know, a major impact on people
I mean, I
there.
try to be different, man. Like, I worked in the hood, but I would get out of my car and just walk around. Like, go play with the kids at the park, you know, like they out shooting. I'm gonna get some shots up too, you know. But you know, it was stuff like that. So I tried to build a connection, you know, as much as I could. So that mean, they end up helping, you know, when in tough times. Sometimes they would talk to you. Just because of that connection.
Yeah. So when you see what's going on today with, you know, these police shootings, especially when they happen to minorities, one of the things that we try to do is be objective and get the facts before we make any decision on whether the officer was right or wrong, or the person who was shot was right or wrong. Do you ever feel like conflicted because you were an officer and you know that like you're trained to do certain things, but then you see someone who looks like you on the other end of it? So do you ever get that conflicted feeling, or kind of what goes on in your mind when you see stuff like that?
Yeah, it's not really conflicted. It's just like I want to get the details. Like that's always my first thing.
Yeah.
I want to see video. I want to know the facts. And I mean, sometimes it's like I don't know what else they could have done, and sometimes it's like I feel like they're dead wrong for that. Like they could have done other things. So it just depends on the situation. They're all different.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like that's one thing that I always talk to people about. Literally, like every state's training is different. Like there's no like universal training. So that's why you can see something happen somewhere and it happens this way, and then you see it somewhere else and it's different.
Right.
Because possibly they're trained differently. They're different people. So no situations are the same. You can't compare because it's all different. And it's different people involved. You never know anybody. So I mean sometimes people are just dead wrong, and some people it's like I don't know, I probably did the same thing, you know. So I definitely see it from a different lens because I've been there at times, you know. Luckily I didn't have to like shoot anybody, but it's come close, you know. So you really, you know, you got to make a decision.
Right. And I was just curious, especially with everything going on recently. So I think we left off with you started coaching basketball, and you were doing the officer thing, and then what happened next after, like, you know, what did you transition to next after that?
Yeah, it was crazy. So I was at Greensboro, you know, we were doing well, and you know, around year probably 6 or 7, it's like you know, do I want to move on? What's my next move? Because we're winning, we're doing well. At that time I turned down like a couple of other jobs. Like coaches reached out to me, like offering me positions, like pretty good jobs,
Like
and I just
D1
turned them
schools
down.
or bigger schools?
Yeah, like
That's
D1
what's up.
assistant jobs. I turned them down because they didn't really feel good. And then I started interviewing for head coaching jobs, and I turned a couple of those down. And then I got to interview at Johnson Wales University in Charlotte. Felt great. AD was cool, great location. It's right uptown Charlotte, which is downtown. So I went there, and just, you know, it was a new program. I had to change the culture, change everything around, and we were able to do that. And, you know, but when I got there, like year 1, like in the middle of year 1, like Hidden Figures, that movie came out, which is crazy. So I watched. I go to this movie. I'll go by myself. I never forget. I had an afternoon off. I went and watched the movie, and I'm watching it. It's like, yo, like this is crazy. Like even at that time, those ladies were so good that like racism couldn't deny them. Like just because they were women, they couldn't deny them because they needed them.
Man,
so like I had
message.
they like changed my mindset on things, and then like I find out that I'm like related to Katherine Johnson. So it's like a feeling in me like, yo, I'm here for like to do more. So I started making connections in football and just reaching out to people, and ultimately I got invited to the Women's Coaches Forum in Florida through the NFL, and that's where I met Coach Rivera, and we built a relationship. And at this time, my office is literally right beside the Panther facility, like literally right beside it, so I can hear practice and everything. So I meet him, just let him know who I am, where I am, and he invites me over to work at the mini camp, the rookie mini camp. It's like 2 days. So I'm super happy. Like I'm about to go over there and be with them for 2 days. 2 days turned into like 4 or 5 months. So we built a great connection. You know, obviously they liked what I brought to the table there. And then I went back and coached basketball. We ended up winning a national championship our second year, which was nuts. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
You won the Natty?
yeah, we won a national championship. So that following year, now, you know, I have an opportunity to possibly win another national championship. Like we have a team that can win another championship. But football is like pulling at me. So I get an opportunity to go coach in the AAF in Arizona, and I just walk away from it all. Like everything. National championships, national coach of the year. I just left. Like in the middle of the season. I left in like December. So obviously we were playing.
Wait, you left in the middle of the season?
I left. That's when that's when the job was offered, you know. And I think our culture was built on like really chasing opportunities and chasing goals. So like my kids, like they hated it, but they understood it, which is crazy. for them to be that mature, because that's what we had preached. And I felt like my card got pulled because I had been telling them like this,
Right.
and all of a sudden this is here for me. So I leave and go to Arizona, and like it was great. I learned a lot. League gets canceled, folds. So I come back and it's like, okay, am I gonna go back to basketball? What am I gonna do? Coach Rivera calls me, and I go back to the Panthers for another 4 or 5 months. And after that, I worked at Dartmouth. So I was at Dartmouth for a season, which was great to get that experience in the Ivy League. And then Coach had come here, and he called me and let me know he had a full season internship for me. And obviously, I accepted it. And then, like, you know, about halfway through last season, he let me know I was going to come back and get promoted. So it's been crazy. Like, and that's like the short version. It's like so much that happened, but. You know, it's
round of applause, man. That's an unbelievable game. Unbelievable.
So when did you start coaching middle school football?
Hey guys, thanks for clocking in with us and making it this far into the episode. We want to continue these episodes for as long as possible, but we might need your help. If you click on the description on each episode, you'll find a link that reads support this podcast. If you enjoy keeping up with us, click on that link and you can make a monthly donation. All right, you guys hear enough of me talking anyways, so let's get back into the episode.
Yeah, I started coaching.
What year was that?
It was probably around like 08, 09, something like that. Yeah, I started coaching with some of my teammates that I was playing with at the time, in High Point, actually. Yeah, and the crazy thing about that last season, one of those guys is actually in the NFL now. We played against him. So it was like crazy.
I think I've seen the pic. Yeah, I've seen
he
the
plays
pic.
for the Bengals, so we took a picture together. But it was wild, you know, but yeah, I mean, so I've been coaching football for a long time, so I definitely didn't just like pop up.
Right.
Yeah, it's been like a long time coming.
Now, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, who ingrained like the love of football?
Yeah,
Like,
probably just my family, man. Like my sister tells a story when I'm like 5 years old. I go to like my first like high school game. I can't stop talking about it. Like she talks about it. Like I just keep talking about it all the time. So I guess it happened then, you know. And then I would just sit and watch football with my dad.
Yeah.
So it was.
Did you have a favorite player growing up?
Yeah. I mean, I love Deion Sanders, Mike Vick. Like those are my guys, man. Yeah, playmakers. Always like playmakers.
Have you had a chance to meet them yet?
I met Mike Vick in the airport, like randomly.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would love to.
Yeah,
meet Vic,
good
man.
dude.
Seemed like good dude. Yeah. VA repping. Yeah, we gotta get you to meet Deion, man. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
You know, he's doing his thing over at Jackson State.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I love his video.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Deion got me hyped. Deion got me hyped.
He'll get you hyped. Yeah.
Hey, look, man.
Yeah.
We want to bring in dogs. We want to bring in dogs. You know, and we're gonna play. We're gonna play the right way. Not Deion. He a fool with him.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do great there.
So, from the time that you started feeling this itch to like get back into football to the time Coach Rivera called you, like how much time had gone on between that?
It had been maybe a year or so, because when I first, you know, started trying to get into football, this is crazy. Like I'll never forget. I don't know why I remember this story so vividly. I was in Atlanta recruiting actually, and you know, you just kind of hanging out at the hotel before you go because the games start later. And I was at the JW Marriott Buckhead. I had like a high floor. I'm just standing there like looking out over the city. Like this is so like a movie. Yeah. I'm literally like standing there looking out over the city. And I'm like, yo, I'm gonna hit up Sam Rappaport. She's like works for the NFL. She's in charge of the women's forum. So I blindly sent her like an email. She responds in like 5 minutes.
Wow.
So that started a connection, and she connected me with Scott Pioli, who was the assistant GM at the Falcons at the time. So he invited me down. So I went to the Falcons practice, hung out, and like that's when I knew that's like what I wanted to do. And I mean, he's still a mentor to this day. He's not with the Falcons anymore. He's on TV now.
Yeah.
But you know, me and him talked quite a bit. So, but then like literally went to the forum, met Coach. So it was about a year later.
Yeah, what I'm hearing like as a constant theme is, you take action like, immediately.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people,
there's no stopping.
A lot of people have goals and dreams, and some people they take opportunities they maybe shouldn't because they're focused on the wrong thing, right? Like your decision making was based on fit and feeling, whereas
Passion.
the passion and where you can make an impact, right? Because another thing I've seen is like Greensboro's women's team didn't win a conference tournament championship until you and Walt were there,
Yeah.
right? Like
I remember watching the game, dog. I like got emotional because we had a game that day too, and I'm watching on my laptop, and y'all won that joint, man. And I was like, wow.
I got emotional when they sent me the video of the last like 10 seconds.
I mean, knowing Walt's journey, and because Walt didn't really get to play at a high level like that, and for him to work his way up and still do what he does and get a ship out of it, like that was special, man. So yeah, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, so you won there. You go to the head coaching position at Johnson C. Wells. You win a national championship there, and I'm not saying it's all because of you, but you go to the football team and they make the playoffs.
Hey, it's been crazy, like, because I've won championships playing football, coaching, like everywhere I've been, we've won championship, which is insane.
So the Super Bowl next. Is
Like,
what you're telling
I
me.
mean, I hope, but it's just, I don't know. It's like when you learn how to win and you learn how to be successful, you just carry it over. And I'm not saying, obviously, it's not all because of me, but you just bring like a championship mentality.
Yep.
And I learned that early on. Like one of my high school team was one of the best. We were one of the best teams in the state. Like 3 out of my 4 years in high school, like pounding people, like bunch of dogs. So I think I learned how to win early, and then when I started coaching at Greensboro, I learned how to win as a coach.
Yeah, there's a
So-
huge difference
Different.
between winning as a player
Absolutely.
and winning as a coach.
Yeah, so it's building those relationships and just really learning what it takes and what it looks like, what it feels like to be able to win. And like you said, like I'm such a doer. Like if there's something I want to do, like I want to do it like right now.
Yeah.
Like it's not like something I'm trying to wait, or if I want to go somewhere, I'm trying to go like right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to take a trip. Like, I don't understand how people like want to do something or have goals and aspirations and they just never like, what are you doing to do it? Like do it.
Yeah.
If you fail, you fail, but don't be afraid of that. Don't let that stop you. Like just go after whatever you want, like right now, because why not?
Yeah.
What are you waiting for?
What are you gonna lose?
Right.
I'll be honest, I was the opposite most of my life.
Yeah.
I was an overthinker. I was a planner, sometimes to a fault. Until Kobe passed and the pandemic, which is right next to each other, I realized like Kobe lived his life to the fullest extent. Like I read his book Mamba Mentality, and man, this dude, he passed way too early in my opinion, but he left everything out on the field and on the court. And then with the pandemic, it was like, a lot of these dreams and goals that like I had thought about, like they could be taken away now.
Right away.
Right.
Yeah.
So I really respect the way you operate because, a lot of people are like me naturally, and they're more careful, right? You're like, not that you're not careful, but you're like, all right, well, this is the right decision. Let's move forward.
Yeah.
I've never heard of someone leaving a head coaching job in the middle of a season
After winning a national
championship.
to just do something completely different.
And I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
But I was gonna ask you,
Like,
the
closest thing I can think of is freaking Jordan retiring.
Yeah, right. You and Jordan are on this. You guys are, you and Jordan. But I was gonna ask, was part of your decision to leave? It sounds crazy, but was it to be an example to your players because you had preached, go after your dreams and opportunities?
Yeah, I think, what I had preached so much to them, I was now faced with that opportunity. So I feel like I had to do it. Like, because I think with me, it's more about like fearing that regret or looking back, like, damn, what would have happened if I would have did it, versus knowing, like, even if I did it and it was terrible, at least I know. I know what happened. So that's really what I did, and that's what we built it on. We built it on like, our culture on, chasing. Like we wanted to win a national championship. That's what we wanted. We talked about it all the time and what it took to get there, and putting those things into to play to be better every day. So that's what I did with myself. And really, I think building that culture there, it helped me as well, you know, because you know I'm a part of it. Yeah, I'm a part of that culture.
Yeah.
What I'm telling them, I need to be doing it too.
Yep.
And that was something that we did together. Like, I'm not just telling y'all this. Like, I'm gonna do it too. Like, we're all in this together. So yeah, I mean, and I think that's why they understood it when
Clock in.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Clock in.
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly. So it
that's
was
the message, man.
Yeah, it really was. So I think that's why I was comfortable leaving. Like, it was hard. Like, it's not like I just like, okay, I'm out. Like, it was hard. I thought about it for weeks, and you know, I talked to a bunch of people, but ultimately the decision's on me. And so I just left and see what happened, you know.
God bless you.
Yeah, man.
So how would you describe your leadership style? Because someone who's used to winning, like you're used to winning, you may have people who aren't used to winning at that level, that you have to kind of, you know, bring them to your level, right? Or to your standard. So how would you describe like your leadership style as a person?
Yeah, I mean, I always think I'm kind of like the cool coach. Like, I'm laid back, and I kind of lead by example. Like, I'm not. I think that happened in working in D3. Like, yeah, I'm a coach, but I might have to do this laundry right now.
Yeah.
Or
yes,
you know what I'm saying? Or
yes.
I might need to sweep this floor, even though I'm the coach. I might
Yeah.
have to do managerial duty. Even though I was a head coach, it wasn't beneath me if I needed to do laundry or like I wasn't one of those type of people. You know, I've always been like a worker. Like, my parents, that's how they raised me, to be a worker. So I think that really worked into my leadership style, to just lead by example and not be afraid to do what you're asking people to do at the same time, and to get your hands dirty if you need to.
Yeah, I mean, the humility, like, to me, that's what you really, you know, showcase. And, you know, as a coach, man, I know for me, if I want to play for someone, like you said, like, I want to play for someone that I'm gonna go to war with every night. But at the same time, like, he's a real person too, or she's a real person too. And by you saying, like, you're doing the laundry and, you know, sweeping and hanging up jerseys, like, going back to the last chance that's what the coach is doing.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you will do.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're a fool if you think you're gonna coach at a small school,
Right.
and not have to do anything.
That's different.
Yeah,
It's real different.
absolutely.
It is.
Yeah.
Me and him joke about it all the time. Like, my assistant basketball coach was the head cross country coach. Never ran cross country in his life. The assistant women's basketball coach was the head golf coach.
Yeah.
So they couldn't afford to pay all these different head coaches.
Yeah.
So it's like,
You
if you
wear a lot of
want to be an
hats.
assistant
That's how it
here,
works.
you got to
Yeah.
be a head here.
My later days at Greensboro, I was like the assistant manager at the rec center.
Yep.
Like,
You got to do what you got to
Yeah,
do.
I even got a little like cottage or like room out. They had these weird like rooms.
Yeah.
I mean, I used it strictly for naps. I ain't
Right.
stay there,
Right.
but it was convenient to have.
Yeah, man. At that level, you have to really love it. Like, you have to really love it. Like, as a player, as a coach, because it's not glamorous at all.
Nah.
It isn't.
Not
It's really about the love of the sport, and that's why I respect D3 players so much. Like, you know, because I mean, you could go to a bigger school party and, you know, have your fun, but like, you're doing it for the love of the game, and that's strictly it.
Yeah.
And playing in a team environment, because, you know, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. That's why you see a lot of D3 head coaches, you know, move up the ranks and become successful at the highest level.
Yeah.
Right, because they truly love, you know, what they do.
And they can't rely on talent alone, right?
Yeah, you never
You
know
have
what
to
you
study
might
the
get.
game. Yeah, you have to study the game.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to ask, because you said, like, this is how I was raised. Can you talk about, like, your family's influence on you, or even, you know, maybe, you know, black folks, we got people who aren't blood family.
Yeah.
That's my cousin.
Right.
That your real cousin, or is that your fake cousin?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got plenty of those.
Yeah. So talk about your family's influence and how they've kind of helped you be the person who you are today.
Yeah, they've been big, man. Like, my sister, watching her play sports growing up, I was always at a game of hers. So that's how I got into sports and playing. And my parents were always very, like, supportive. So whatever I wanted to do, they found a way so I could do it. And, like, they encouraged me to do it. And, like, they've always been there. Like, when in college, I think they came to, like, almost all of my games.
Wow.
But, like, 3 or 4. And it's college, so we're playing all over the place.
Yeah.
And they still, like, make it. And then even growing up, there were times I had, like, 3 different practices. after school, like 3 different sports, and they would just take me to all of them. And now as an adult,
That's
when I
crazy.
get off of work, I'm trying to
You're
go
done.
home. I ain't
Yeah.
trying to do
As soon
nothing.
as your butt
Yeah.
touches,
So now I
it's a wrap.
understand, like, they were taking me all over the place.
Crazy.
So I would, and just that what they did, but it built like a work ethic, and like I think that heart that it took to do all these things, and the encouragement. So I never felt like I couldn't do anything because
Yeah.
they always allowed me to do things, except
Wow.
for play football. They ain't let me do that. But
Did you try to play?
Oh, of course.
I bet.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the coaches asked me, they wanted me to play, but they shut that down. But everything else, they were always there encouraging, like, let me know I can do it. So, and even if it was something crazy I wanted to try, they would let me try it.
Mm-hmm.
So I developed that, and then I always had something in me to be like good. Like I always wanted to be really good. So growing up, I would always want to like win trophies, but I didn't care about the trophy. If that makes sense. It just what it signified, you know. So I have all these trophies. I don't even care about it. Even in college, I would win awards. And like I would just throw them in my car. Like, so I have plaques.
So it's funny you say that because Steve Kerr said that when he won the championships, it was more of a relief than like an excitement. So was it more for you? Was it more like, all right, I did what I was supposed to
You
do,
achieved the goal now.
versus like, all right, I needed this trophy?
Yeah, I think for me, which is weird, and I always tried to like balance, but I couldn't do it. Like after I won a championship, like 2-3 days later, maybe the next day, I'm just on to the next thing. Like it's like, okay, that happened, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
Like how do I do it again? Or
That's how it should be.
Yeah, but like that's always how I've been. It's always about the next thing. And sometimes I always like, should I be enjoying this more? Or like we won our national championship, at Johnson Wells, like I was on the bus ride home. I'm thinking about how
Probably
we could-
watching film.
Yeah, like how-
Recruiting,
exactly.
who's
like,
coming through next year.
Like it was great.
That's how you
but now
know you
it's
locked in,
over.
man. That's how you know you
How
locked
can we
in.
do it again? And that's what it's all about for me. Is how
Yeah.
can you do it again? How can you be better? So
Yeah, it's tough when you're in the heat of the moment, because like you said, like you have that what's next mentality. But I think as you get older and you can look back on it. That's when you're like, man, like
yeah,
I had a crazy ride.
definitely
I had a crazy
the
ride.
reflection gonna be crazy.
Yeah, man, what?
Yeah.
I mean, we live in a society today where people they want to post accomplishments that they didn't even actually achieve on social media and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's more about the recognition and look at me than it is like the process that it took.
Right. Yeah.
And
that's,
you
but
have to
that's
become
how
better.
you generate the kind of people, so many people we have now, because they only see people's accomplishments.
Highlights.
They don't see what it took to get there or
Yep.
when they fail. Because people don't post your failures on
Nah,
Instagram. You only post
Nico
the wins.
over there. We've had this debate plenty of times on like social media. We're not gonna get into that.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at my Instagram, it's like, oh my god, like, she's doing all of this.
Right.
Nothing ever goes bad,
Right.
you know.
But they don't see all the hours that you put
Exactly. Yeah.
in. The stress.
Yeah, and that's the thing with sports too. People only see the games.
Yep.
They don't see how much we work to prepare for the
Yeah.
game. They just see Sundays for 3 hours.
That's
and
it.
It's like, yeah.
That's it.
I was listening to a podcast. Cam Newton was on. He was just saying how, I get judged off one day of the week.
Yep.
Fair or foul, that's just what it is.
That's it.
But I mean, I didn't play football, but I watched like NFL Network and some of the behind the scenes stuff, Hard Knocks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it takes preparation.
Yeah.
And the thing I love about football though is
it's very underrated in that.
It's very underrated, but like the people who aren't gonna play, most likely, they're just as serious about the preparation to get the starters ready.
Yeah, because they have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I mean, football is like it feel like it's different than anything in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously with football, I mean, you can go from third string to starting real quick.
Yeah,
Because of the
facts,
physicality
facts.
of the
Real
game.
quick.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So,
Real
but
quick.
it's so much that goes into every play call, everything that you do, and that's what it's so crazy to like sometimes listen to the talking heads. Like, why do we work so hard? We could just chill on the couch and tell us what to do. Apparently,
Right,
because they
yeah,
know everything.
yeah.
But it's
The
fun.
skips and the
Yeah, yeah.
shenanigans and stuff.
That's a great segue. I was
Yeah.
actually gonna ask you because
They're talking about the team the other day, talking about quarterback situation and stuff. I'm just like, man, y'all have no idea.
nah, they don't. They don't. but you talked about how your family basically prepared you to be able to pursue anything, right? I'm sure there's been some people who've been like, you can't do that, or why are you even going to try that? So how have you handled some of the doubters and naysayers?
These haters on my body, shake
know what I'm
them all.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, like, I don't give them attention. Like, it doesn't matter to me.
can't.
Like this is like a random story, but like my first year, maybe the second year with the Panthers in training camp, we had like Dale Earnhardt Jr. come and speak with like Lindsey Zarniak. They're talking, and he starts talking about like social media essentially and not giving people attention. And that's like, I really, of course at that time, no one was checking my social media like that. But now it's like, don't give me any attention. Why do I care what somebody's saying on Twitter like about me? Like they don't matter. So I really don't really pay any attention like that. So I know it's hard.
Yeah.
You want to say something if you see it.
Yeah.
But like, it's like whatever.
You're not on no KD type stuff.
Yeah.
No, like you go. Like, so why would I give some person with like 20 followers like a platform because they said something crazy?
Yeah.
Like I don't even care. Like it doesn't matter to me as long as like the people in the building.
Yeah.
I'm good with them. That's all that matters.
Right.
Like it doesn't matter anything else.
And I feel like throughout your life you've broken some type of barrier, right? So that mindset didn't start like when you got this job with the Panthers and the Redskins. So even going like way back, like I'm sure you've had people say, you know, why do you even want to play football? Like why are you interested in this? So like where did that resilience come from?
Yeah, I mean, I think really like growing up, I was a huge Jordan fan, and like I was literally like at 8-10 years old, like I didn't know it then, but looking back, I was like a little dog. Like all I wanted to do was destroy whoever I was playing. But I think it came because of him, because his mentality. That's really like the mentality I had, which is so funny with my parents because they're so nice. Yeah. And like I'm like literally like a little savage. Like I want to kill you. Yeah. Like that's how I feel. Like still to this day. Like anything I'm competing in.
I watch The Last Dance like every day.
Yeah.
Literally like every day.
Yeah.
Like we play in this little men's league and like if we want to get hyped, which is doing The Last Dance.
Yeah. Every Sunday we play on Sundays.
Yeah.
Last Dance is on.
Yeah. Y'all putting y'all's Kenny Lattimore?
Yeah. Don't
Fact. But really like the scene where when they're playing Tony Kukoc and Jordan and Pippen are like fighting over guarding him.
Yeah.
Like that's what we do. It's like yo, they got this dude on the team. I'm guarding him. Nah, I got him.
No, we take pride in like taking the best player, or the dude that everyone's chasing.
And this is in a men's league.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but that's how y'all are.
Light.
That's how, like in college, like I said, I was a scorer, but I wanted to check whoever their best guard was. I wanted them because I wanted to like. I was a dog. I wanted to shut
You're not gonna win this matchup.
Exactly. Like I took that matchups personally, you know, and that's just how I always was. And it's funny. It's really funny looking back. Yeah. But then I realized, like even my high school team, we had a team full of dogs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you talking about Guilford. You look at my high school team. Like we got laughed at. Like literally, we're the number one team in the state, and people are like, oh, that's them. Like laughing, and then we go out and like beat them by 40. Yeah. But. Like it was our team. Like literally, our coach had to like choke us out. Because we would press you to death and run, and then he would take us out so we wouldn't score like 100 points. You know, but he had to take us out because if he left us on the floor, we had no off switch.
Y'all gonna get cops called on.
Yeah, but I feel like that's how you have to be. And sometimes coaching, especially when I was coaching girls in college. That was hard for me.
I was gonna say
being like that because everybody's not
like that.
Yeah.
The balance of it and like understanding. Oh, I can't talk to them. The way I can talk to so and so.
Yeah. Like, and they don't have that same fight. All of them don't have that.
They don't.
They don't. I mean, they're good players. Hard, they want to play basketball. But they don't have. It's not like everything to them.
It's something we deal with.
Yeah, that's hard. It's
the time, like playing pickup, and we're not the type that like, you know, we think it's the NBA Finals, but we hate to lose. Number one, and because we approach the game a certain way, and I know you can relate. When people don't play hard, when people, you know, give up on plays or get attitudes. Or just sometimes it's just that they just don't know, and it's like I expect you to know how to do this, but it's tough. So how do you communicate with people who may not be on the same ambition level or skill level as you? You know, how did you learn how to do that? Because I feel like it's something that a lot of leaders who especially have been successful, they may struggle with, because it's like, yo, you can't shoot a fadeaway. Like, imagine Jordan coaching, like, you can't shoot a fadeaway from the 3-point line. So how do you navigate that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was all about trying to will that into them when they stepped on the court. I knew it wasn't going to be all the time, but to develop that sense of, and I think a lot of it is coaching. It comes as like effort, you know, that energy that they can bring. And I think what we did at Johnson & Wales, similar to what happened at Greensboro, once they start buying into that stuff, you start winning. And once they start seeing the success, they want to do more because you're winning and you're doing better and better. So that's how it was. That's what I always try to instill in them. And like I said, I mean, I grew up playing grown men from the time I was a child. So I just have, it's different, you know. And then I remember when I was like 16, I played in a summer league, and like Nikki Teasley, and like there's like legit like ACC players. And I'm 16, but in my mind, I'm like, I'm about to go back. I'm about to go compete. I love her to death. She's my best player, but I'm about to go out here and compete. But that's just the mentality. But when you can share that with like players, I think they start to see that. And then early on at Johnson & Wales, we had a kid. She was unbelievable, athletic, could do everything. And like our national championship season, our first like team workout, I kicked her out because she wasn't living up to the standard that we had set. And I think that really set the tone for the whole season. Like if she can get kicked out in the first workout, oh man, what's gonna happen to me? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And
she's the golden child.
Yeah, she's 4-time All-American. Yeah. And they responded to that though. And I think once you saw that, it helped everything. I think that changed early on. It changed everything. Yeah. You know, and I had to set the tone. You know, it was a coach move, but I had to set the tone that she wasn't living up to what we needed her to. You know?
Now, we touched on this a couple episodes, like, you know, for us, I don't know if you ever battled through like injuries, but like when the game is taken away from you, like that does something to you. Yeah. So when you do see people that are slacking or they're not approaching it the right way, like I'm taking that personal. Yeah. Because I love this game so much and I would literally kill to be out there. And when I see you guys doing this and doing that, it's like, yo, like you're disrespecting me.
Yeah, disrespecting the game, disrespecting.
Unfortunately, though, a lot of people don't realize that until it's taken away, until it's over, or they graduate and they look back like that was the best time of my life.
I was tearing up, man. I tore my ACL my sophomore year, and you know, I'm watching practice, and I'm just like, dog, like I would kill to be out there, and I had to like leave, cause man, when you put so much into it, you know, like Jordan in The Last Dance, you know, he talked about it, like y'all don't know the sacrifices that I've made, and for y'all to just come in and think like it's about to be sweet, nah. Yeah. Like I've been getting killed by Isaiah and the Pistons and Bird and the Celtics for years. So, you know, I earned my stripes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. I mean, we can get into
we can talk that all day. Talk about that all day. So you moved here in the pandemic, right?
Right before.
Yeah. So I think this is something that everyone can relate to. No, I think you don't have any well, you said you've been up here in the past because you had a family, but do you have family here currently, or is it just you out here?
Yeah, I have some like out in Maryland, but I mean, I haven't really been able to see them.
Right, fact. Yeah. I was going to ask you just personally, like, how have you been navigating the pandemic, keeping your mind right, and just making sure that you're staying positive and productive?
Yeah, I mean, I got here like 2 weeks before everything shut down.
Yeah, because I saw you in the office, and like a week later, we back at the crib.
Exactly. So I went back to North Carolina for a while, just hung out at my sister's house, just to be around people, you know. And then I would split time between here and there, and then I started getting into like podcasts, like self-development, because you know, how can I be better? It's like that coach in mind. Like I can either like do nothing or I can like be better. So I started like all types of investment podcasts and like just stuff like that. So I feel like I came out better than I was, because you have a choice. You have a choice. Do you want to come out better or not?
This was a perfect opportunity to do so.
Exactly. You have time, you know, and I really started just like learning more about investing and just stuff in general that I didn't know about, and like financial moves and stuff like that. So I feel like I know so much more now. I'm so much better than I was, and like obviously it was a terrible year because of, you know, all the people that were affected by it, but like it was a good year for me personally just because of all the things I learned, the accomplishments I had. So I mean, it sucks obviously, but I'm thankful for the growth I had.
Man,
That's literally what we talk about.
Yeah.
Like, this has been, for our family personally, it's been probably, you know, the most fruitful year.
absolutely.
Like, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
You know, we started this podcast. You know, we're at our 40 plus the bonus episode.
Yeah.
You know, we started our business, The Goods. Walt won a state championship.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Our dad started his podcast.
Right.
We closed on a new church building.
Somebody's always
Maria
winning.
got
Yeah.
Maria got accepted into Duke for physical therapy.
Yeah.
You know, my older brother Brandon started his basketball shooting brand, Meatball Sniper. So I mean, this isn't to pat all of ourselves on the back.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, it's a choice.
Yeah. And
And-
someone's always like, that's the thing. Like, literally somebody's always winning, no matter how bad something is. Somebody's either profiting from it,
Yeah.
or doing something,
Or
so,
they're losing money.
Yeah, you know. So
Or-
you want to figure out how to be on that winning side.
Yeah.
You know.
sink or swim, man.
Yeah.
Sink or swim.
So how did you take that bulldog mentality of, you know, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win into this business? Because we probably should have said it. And if I mess this up, forgive me. But first African American woman to coach in the NFL, or was it the first woman to coach in the NFL? Which
First black female, like full time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and me and Austin, you know, we didn't want to make this whole podcast about that. We probably talked about it a million times. We wanted more to just get to know your journey and your perspective and mindset. But I mean, you're in an arena where it's like, one, women don't play football typically, and they rarely coach. So how have you used that to kind of, you know, push through some of the barriers and some of the things that, you know, may discourage people like you to kind of stay and succeed in this industry?
Yeah, it went back to that Hidden Figures reference I made. Like, literally, I had to have that mindset that to be so good that they couldn't deny me. You know what I'm saying? And so I studied. Like, it took a lot of sacrifice. It took a lot of, like, not wanting to go out in Charlotte, but nah, I'm going to stay in and study this stuff. You know, like, it took a lot of that. And that's the behind-the-scenes stuff like we talked about. So I think, you know, obviously building a connection with Coach Rivera, but I think it's so important that when you get an opportunity, what are you going to do with it? So, and I think it helped that I was a head coach when I went over there because I knew what I wanted from my assistants. Like, how can I help? And that was always, it's not about having a seat at the table, but what you bring into it. And that's what I wanted to do. And that's something that he talks about all the time. Like, when I came over there, you know, what impressed him was I was trying to, like, make people better and help people anywhere I could. It wasn't like I was just happy to be there. Like, I wanted to, when I left, I wanted people to be like, dang, who gonna do this?
Yeah.
You know?
People would have missed you.
Right.
People don't miss you when you leave.
Yeah.
You didn't do your
Exactly.
job right.
So that's how I went over with that mentality. And then, you know, once people know that you can help make them better or be more prepared, like, I haven't had any problems because I'm a female. Like, I build relationships, that's first of all. You know, they know that I care about them more than football. Like,
people.
I know their family. I have an idea who their names are or what they have going on as far as business or anything.
Yeah.
And we can talk about that and not even talk about football. But then when you start getting into coaching, it helps because you have that relationship with them that they'll play for you, they'll trust you and what you're saying, and then once you can help them get better or they see something that you talked about, help them make a play or help them get better, like they could care less who you are. All they care about is how can you help me stay in this league or how can you help me get my next contract.
If you're qualified, they'll respect you.
Right, and that's it. And like, you know, I had an opportunity to work with Christian McCaffrey in Carolina in this offense. So the things that me and him talked about or that I learned from him, brother here. You know, JD had 80 catches last year. You know, he's second in the NFL. So it's just, how can I be valuable? And that's what it's all about for me.
Yeah, no, that relationship, you know, point is huge because, I mean, these dudes are making a lot more money than a lot of people.
Right.
So they don't have to respect you at a certain, you know, point. But that's where just from being in the building and seeing, you know, the culture change, like, I can tell again, I think I've shared this story before. When Rivera first approached the organization, like on the business side too, he literally they took down the door like that leads into the coach's office. Like took it down and was like, "Yo, like open door policy. Like anyone could come in." And the fact that he's doing that, like when he first gets into the building, that's when I knew. I'm like, yeah, we gonna be all right.
Yeah.
And seeing, you know, all the roster changes and just looking at the climate of the NFC East, and you know, I said this. I was like, we're gonna win the division.
He said it.
I called it.
Yeah, he said it.
I called it.
I hope you get that feeling again.
Right. Nah. I mean, again, with Rivera and what he's brought, you know, in the building, you know, with yourself and others, like, eventually, man, that's gonna catch up to everyone. And you know, we say it all the time, like, good karma, bad karma, you can't outrun it. And you know, I believe in my heart, man, a Super Bowl is coming soon. It is. Like, I can wholeheartedly stand on that.
With your resume, nah, definitely.
Right. Yeah.
think it's gonna happen.
Contagious, man.
Yeah, I leave. I have like all my rings in this big case. I got one open in the middle.
Yes,
so
sir.
I leave it open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gonna feel that.
That's
one.
definitely the one. That's definitely.
Hopefully, I get one too.
Right.
I only had a few more questions that we can wrap up. So culture is everything in any organization. I mean, we're building a culture here with our own clock-in team, right? So this will help us out. What would you say are some of like the top, let's just say top 3 aspects, in your opinion, of a winning culture?
Yeah. Oh man, that's a really good question. Top 3, I would go definitely communication. You know, communicating with each other as well as communicating the expectations of the culture. Make sure they're clear. I think there has to be somewhat of a partnership, and that's something that I did. Of course, I have my idea of culture, but also I want aspect, like the player aspect. What do they want? You know, like I can't just impose my will.
Yeah.
And like when I was at Johnson and Wells, they wanted like music and practice. I was like, I can do that.
Yeah.
Like, sure. Like warm up, the first like 30 minutes of practice, we had music. That's what they wanted. So I think it was a partnership, a give and take. So that communication, being willing to work with each other, and then at the end of the day, it's the standard. You know, like the culture is the culture. If this is our culture, what are you willing to accept? What will you not accept? And I learned that when I got to the NFL. Like I knew culture. I mean, like standards, but when I got to the NFL, you learn a different standard. 'Cause, like my second day with Carolina, I remember this receiver got cussed out. Because he was at like 5 yards. He was supposed to be at like 6. You know what I'm saying? But so you think that's standard? Like, but that's it. And like, what are you willing to accept? What will you not accept? And that's that culture that you have. And everyone's on the same page. But that type of culture, I think that's when special things happen.
Yeah, nah,
That's big.
I can attest to that. 'Cause, you know, when I played in college, you know, I came from the Davidson system because my coach recruited Steph Curry when he was at Davidson. And I remember one time, you know, we used to shoot nail pull-up jumpers, and I was like 2 inches like from the like in front of the nail and got cussed out.
Yeah.
And it's like you need to be on the nail, and I'm like literally like 2 inches.
Yeah.
But there's detail.
Right.
Man.
And when you understand that, that's when it moves to the next level. When you're not even thinking like, why would he say that? But it's like, you're right. You're right. That's what I need.
And that stuff carries over to what I'm doing now on the business side. Like the job that I'm in, it's required. You have to be super detail oriented. And you know, looking back on those lessons and me getting cussed out, like it matters, man. It really does. Yeah.
They say in football especially, but I think in life, like it's a game of inches.
Literally.
It's literally a game. And to be honest,
I grew up a Titans fan, so I know.
Oh yeah, true.
I know.
I'm a Jags fan, so
you don't know yet. It might come.
It's a game for the Jags. It's a game of meters, kilometers.
You don't know yet.
It might come though.
It's
on the way.
Hey,
come on, Trev. Let's get it, Trev.
Yeah. No, I really think that Jacksonville's on the verge of being good though. Like,
if you go there,
good moves.
If you go there, we gonna go. We need to. I'm gonna have to send an email. All right, like you sent that email to old girl.
Yeah.
But last couple things. So outside of like just the accolades, right? Which I know you don't really care to talk about. Like, what do you want people to know about you? You know, because everyone looks at you and sees all these things, but it's like, what would you want people to know about Jennifer King?
Yeah, I mean, I laugh, but I think I'm just like super normal.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
and
Like
we can
I'm-
attest to that. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's like
this is me all the time.
Like honestly, when I seen your name on the bottom screen, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
If you weren't normal and you were all, you know, bougie, uppity, we wouldn't have invited you.
Yeah, for
we didn't invite you because
Right.
of that. So
Yeah.
it's like she's cool. People are gonna
Yeah.
vibe. She has a lot of great perspectives.
Yeah, like I just don't take myself too seriously. Like I can laugh at myself all the time. I laugh at other things.
That's so
like
important,
it's
man.
just I'm just taking it all like in stride, just doing my best. Like I'm locked in to be the best assistant running back coach I can be. Like I'm
Yeah.
not looking forward. I'm just trying to lock in every single day to help our group be the best group in the league. You know, and that's it. Like I don't try to do anything else. I don't do it for like all this attention. Like it's come because of the magnitude, but like it hasn't changed me.
Yeah,
like I'm
not one
still
bit.
the same just person.
Not one
You
bit.
know, trying to do a great job.
Yeah, man, that's like I said. We can attest to that because we've been interacting with you, you know, up close for years now. So you know this fame and all that stuff. I knew it wasn't gonna affect you, just given you know your character and how you were raised, and you know it's so important, man. Because at the end of the day, like. That stuff doesn't matter. The recognition, you know, the awards, the
Right.
accolades. Like,
It's all about who you are, man.
Who you are,
like
who you
literally,
impact. Like-
when my phone was blowing up when the hire got leaked, like I'm in my floor in my.
how did it
in
get
my-
leaked?
in
How
my-
does that work? First of all,
I don't know.
First of all, if someone is
How does that-
leaking information about you,
Yeah.
you're there.
Yeah.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You're there. If someone's
Like,
leaking stuff.
And this was the internship. Like I'm literally moving up here.
the internship got
yeah,
leaked.
the internship got leaked. So I'm on my way here, and I'm around like Fredericksburg. My phone starts going crazy. So I pull over, and I'm like, oh shoot, well, I guess it's out.
Yeah.
So like all this stuff is happening, and like my phone's still going crazy that night, and I'm literally in my empty apartment trying to set up my Wi-Fi because I'm like too cheap to rent the router, so I bought it, and I'm trying to figure out how to set it up. Like that's what I'm doing
Yeah.
while my phone's out.
While you're looking at ESPN headlines,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
while you're just sitting there.
Because I go
looking
get
at-
food that night,
It's
and
like a
I'm
commercial.
waiting, and like my name goes across the bottom. It's like, oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
But it was like,
That should be a commercial. Like, that should literally be a commercial.
for real, man.
That should be a commercial. But one of the things that I wanted to like just end with when it comes to Jennifer, like always smiling, always smiling.
Yeah,
Always.
You know, I'm sure you
Yeah.
get mad at certain things, but always smiling is contagious. And you know, it's a pleasure to know you as a person. You know, I learned a lot just in this last hour and some change. I know a lot of people will. So, last thing, any people you want to shout out?
oh man,
You know,
that's
You got the main camera right here.
the main joint. Let me shout out. Man, just everybody helped me along the way. It's been so many people helped me get to where I am. Like you can't accomplish things without help. So from like the rec league coaches to my family to my parents, like my teammates that I had that made me better. Just everybody, I appreciate their support like so much for what they've done for me. So, and shout out to the Washington football team.
Yes,
you know?
sir.
round of
We out here.
applause.
Yes, sir, man.
Round of applause
That's
to
big.
all those people. And look, it's been a pleasure. Episode 40.2. I don't know what to call it.
Extra minutes.
Extra minutes with Jennifer King. That sounds like NBA inside stuff, right? Or
For
something.
real, segment, man.
But,
For real, we appreciate
No doubt,
you,
guys.
Jennifer.
Absolutely, man.
R.I.P.
This was special,
to
man.
Terrence Clark, man. Wanted to shout him out, man. Another, you know, young, talented individual life ain't too soon. A lot going on in the world, but never forget, man. Unity's still greater than division,
Facts,
and
man.
that'll never stop. So appreciate y'all, man. And we're gonna clock out for about a month, maybe a little bit longer. We'll see. But y'all continue to clock in though.
Yes, sir.
Moving doesn't end. Let's get it.
Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Yes, sir, man. That was big. Let's ride.
We put in work and here's the proof. What you want?
I'm making moves, punching in.
I'm on it too.
I'm in the gym.
I'm in the stew.
It's hunting season.
Where's the food?
We push each other daily, level up.
Cause that's what brothers do.
Clock in.